Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a back to school makeup tutorial. I know it's halfway through September and you guys have probably already started school, but better late than never. There's still more days to come and you still have time to up your makeup games. I have been so irritated with all these makeup tutorials I've seen. Everything I see is so geared towards people that are makeup junkies and girls who have had time to perfect their craft, and it's just not realistic. So this is a legit back to school, high school makeup tutorial. I'm assuming you are not a makeup junkie, you just want your makeup to look good. I'm also assuming you don't have a lot of money to spend on makeup and your parents probably don't buy you a crap ton of makeup, so you have to work with the same products for different purposes. You kind of have to use multitasking products. So that's what I've done today. I'm also assuming that you don't have a lot of money to spend on buying makeup if you're buying your own. This is an all drugstore makeup tutorial. So without further ado, let's get started. I did keep my mascara on this side because it's like 6 o'clock at night and there's no point in me wasting more mascara, so I'm just going to try to keep it on as much as possible and just work around it. So the first thing you want to do, and this is the key to makeup looking good, is to moisturize. So I'm going to be using the Formula 10.0.6 Seriously Shine Free Mattifying Oil Free Moisturizer. This stuff is a gem. If you have oily skin, it really does absorb the oil in your skin and it mattifies all day long. So I'm going to go ahead and put this all over my face and down my neck, and if I didn't have eye makeup on, I would also put this on my eyelids. So for eye primer, I'm going to use the Wet n Wild Photo Focus Eyeshadow Primer. This does keep your eyeshadows on all day long, no creasing, no fading. So now it's time for eyebrows, and eyebrows were not a thing when I was in high school. You want to look back at your pictures and actually smile and feel kind of good about yourself, then you definitely need to do your brows. So I'm going to go in with an eyebrow gel. This is actually one from Ardell, but all of the labeling is off on it. It's just, use any eyebrow gel you want. It doesn't really matter. So I'm just going to kind of comb my brows upward and over. Another quick tip when you're doing eyebrows, do not over pluck or over wax. I know you may think that you have bushy eyebrows right now. You may be getting made fun of, but it does not matter. I swear to you, eyebrows are so big, and the bigger the better. So that's just going to keep your eyebrows in place all day long, and it's going to kind of keep them laid down so that they're not flying away in the breeze. Now it's time for face primer, and today I'm going to be using the Wet n Wild Photo Focused Coverall Primer. It feels like velvety silk on your skin. It really does lock all your makeup in place. It keeps it on longer. It makes a really smooth base to start out with. Okay, so now that we are primed and moisturized and ready to go, it's time to go in with eyeshadow. The first thing I'm going to do is go in with a bronzer, and this is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. We're going to use this on our eyes and our face. So I'm going to go in with a fluffy brush. I'm going to be using the Morphe, where's the label? B38. This is just a fluffy crease brush, and just start putting it right in the crease. So I'm just going to go back and forth in windshield wiper motions from the inner to the outer portion of the eyelid. So now for the eyelid shade, I always like to go in with a shimmery shade because it's just so flattering. It opens your eyes, it makes you look more awake, it just kind of makes your eyes sparkle a little bit. So we're going to use another multitasking product. I'm going to use a highlighter. So this is going to be a highlighter that we use on our face as well. So this is the Makeup Revolution Shimmer Brick in the shade Radiant. I'm going to take a brush like this, and this is typically just for patting on eyeshadow all over the eyelid. And I'm just going to mix some of these lighter shades up at the top. You can mix any of them really. Just use whatever you like. Put this all over the eyelid from the inner to the outer portion. I'm just going to pat this all over the eyelid, but I'm not going to go up past the crease. And then I'm also going to take that same shade or whatever mixture I want, put this in the inner corner. I'm going to go back in with that B38 brush that I just used for the crease, this little fluffy brush with no extra product. And if you want to use some more product, go ahead, feel free to. But I'm just going to go in that crease just to make sure we have no shimmer in it. I do not like shimmer in the crease at all. So I'm just going to take one of these bronzy shades right here. Just put this in the outer V, just to kind of deepen it up and make it look like we did more than what we actually did. So now it's time for eyeliner, and the reason I'm putting that in quotations is because we're not going to use eyeliner because sometimes eyeliner takes too long to work with. I'm going to use a black eyeshadow, and you can use whatever you want. You can use a dark purple, you could use a dark brown, you could do a dark gray color, and I'm going to take this on a flat eyeliner brush like this one. All I'm going to do is just wiggle this really close to the root and just kind of smudge it out to where we have some definition. So now let's go ahead and work on the lower lash line. I'm going to go back into one of those fluffy brushes, use whatever you want, and go back into that bronzer. And we're just going to blend this along the lower lash line just to add a little bit of color there. But don't get this inner tear duct right here. We want to keep that highlighted. And then I'm also going to put a little bit of my face powder. You can use whatever you want on my brow bone right here, just to highlight it and raise the brow and just kind of clean up this area right here. So next is mascara, but I'm going to go ahead and put that off and do my eyebrows first. So you will need a spoolie and you will need an angled eyeliner brush. So my favorite one, if you can get your hands on it, is from Morphe. This is called the E29 brush. I do think it's discontinued, but it's just an angled eyebrow brush on one side and a spoolie on the other. And a spoolie is going to be your best friend because it's really going to like blend the product around so it doesn't look too harsh. So I'm going to go in with the BH Cosmetics Flawless Brow Trio in the shade Light. This is like $4 or $5 at bhcosmetics.com. Maybelline has some eyebrow products. L'Oreal has some eyebrow powders. e.l.f. has some. You can look around the drugstore and you can find a ton, but this is just one I have on me and I do really, really like it. So I'm just going to go in with this color right here. So just brush all of your eyebrow hairs upward so that you can see all underneath your eyebrow. So I'm going to start the product out right here, the inner portion, and just underline the entire brow using little small strokes so that we don't lose a lot of the product and blend it away. Now that we have it underlined, we're going to brush the hairs downward so we can get the top of it. Do the exact same thing and brush down in the direction and the flow of your own eyebrow. And then start right about here. You don't want to put too much product in the inner portion. So I'm going to start doing it right here where the brows start kind of laying flat. So again, the same thing, you're just going to outline it with the powder. And then you're just going to use your spoolie and brush it upward and the way the hair grows and lays. And just disperse and blend out all that product. And then you're going to take whatever's left over on your brush. If you want to get some more on it, you can. Turn your brush vertically and just make little hair-like strokes with your brush going upward in the inner part of your eyebrow. And then with whatever's left over, just fill in the rest of your brow. But when you use your spoolie, it's really going to fill in your brow for you, so you really don't have to do a whole lot there. Now I like to brush the inner hairs upward and then kind of lay them down really softly like that. Bada boom! So now we're just going to go in and add some mascara. I just apply 2 coats. I take my time with it and I really build up the mascara. So my favorite mascara is the L'Oreal Voluminous Butterfly Sculpt. It's in the purple package. Since I have some extra mascaras laying around, I use the Essence Lash Princess False Lash Effect Mascara for the lower lashes. And I'm going to go ahead and go off camera and apply that. And I'll be right back and we'll finish the face. So here's what the finished eye should look like. Okay, so now it's time for the face. I absolutely love the e.l.f. Acne Fighting Foundation. This is my favorite foundation. Another thing I recommend to you guys is getting a good sponge. So this is a beauty blender. I got it on Wish. It was like $6 or $7. I highly recommend if you need a good beauty blender, get it on there. So I'm gonna squeeze a little bit of foundation out on the back of my hand. This is a full coverage foundation that lasts all day long. It doesn't even claim to be long lasting, but it totally is. I'm gonna take the butt side. This is what I call the butt side. And this is damp. Another thing I want to tell you guys is do not use a sponge dry. Always wet it, squeeze out the excess water, make sure it kind of inflates like this. And with sponges, you always want to kind of tap and press this into your skin. You don't really want to drag it unless you're just trying to move the product around just a little bit. But once you get it to where you want, just stipple it on like this. I'm just gonna go ahead and tell you guys, I don't use a concealer on my blemishes. I always try to get foundations that have really good coverage so that I don't have to use an extra product like a concealer. So that's pretty much it for foundation. Now I go in with concealer. So this is the Maybelline Fit Me Concealer in the shade Light 10. This is an amazing concealer. I just did a foundation routine, so I'm not really gonna go very in depth with this, but I basically just kind of make like a half circle under my eyes. I'm just going to pounce this around and I bring this down to my nose and then I bring it upward. So that it's kind of like an upside down triangle the way we're blending it. I'm not applying it like an upside down triangle because I think that's a gimmick. And this is also going to kind of clean up your eyeshadow and make it a little bit more cut. So for under eye setting powder, I love the NYX HD Finishing Powder in the shade Banana. It's very brightening. And just basically do the exact same thing I did with the sponge and just set this sucker in place. If you want to, just use one single setting powder for your entire face. A really good one is the NYC Smooth Skin Loose Face Powder. And then just set my face with this wherever I didn't use the under eye setting powder. Now it's time to add some dimension back into your face because as you can see, like, this just does not look natural to me. It just looks like one solid color. I did not apply bronzer or blush when I was in high school, which is a huge mistake because in pictures you look dead. So we're gonna go back and use the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. So I'm gonna take a big fluffy brush. This is one from Morphe. It's just a big fluffy brush. I just start in the hollows of my cheeks right here, and the hollows is basically right there where you see that like shadow. We're just going to start right there and blend it upward onto the cheekbones and the apples of my cheeks right here. We're going to move upward and kind of slide it up to the hairline, around the temples, and then you can also put it right here along your jawline and blend it down your neck. So now it's time for blush. I did not do blush in high school and I looked like a freaking mummy. So my favorite blush is the Milani Baked Blushes. My favorite shades are Dolce Pink and Luminoso. I'm just going to take this on a big angled blush, and I'm just going to make this little weird face like this. So as you can see, it kind of it poofs my cheeks out so you can see my cheekbones. So I'm just going to start dabbing this on, and I started the apples of my cheeks and blend it backwards towards my hairline. So basically this entire area right here above my bronzer is going to get blushed. So now it's time for highlight. We're going to go back into our Bobbi Brown Shimmer Brick. This is the Makeup Revolution Shimmer Brick. I'm just going to mix all of them together, tap off the excess. This is a really, really intense highlight. You just want to pop this right on top of the blush right here. And as you go, so I basically just do like a diagonal line from the top of my cheekbone downward. We're basically done except for setting spray, and I think setting spray is so important. I don't have any other setting spray on me other than this one. It's more of a makeup artist brand. The Wet n Wild Photo Focus setting spray is absolutely amazing. It's killer. So I'm just going to spritz my face like this. Almost forgot lips. So I'm going to use the Maybelline Color Jolt Intense Lip Paint in the shade Stripped Down. This is just a nude mauve color. I just wanted to pick something that was appropriate for every day. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching and hanging out with me today. Thumbs up if you like this video. Subscribe. Follow me on my social media. All the links are below. Make sure you follow me on Snapchat. I just got a Snapchat at the Glamour Index. It's a hoot. So I hope you guys have a beautiful day. Mwah.